Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of the universe, who sanctifies us with commandments and commands us in the counting of the Omer. And we announce the day of the Omer first in Hebrew. Hayom Shlosha Ushloshim Yom Shehem Arba'a Shavuot V'Chamisha Yamim LaOmer, which means today is the 33rd day, which is 4 weeks and 5 days of the Omer. And if we were at camp, I would say today is a very special day. And then you would say, how special is it? It's special because today is Lag BaOmer. So Lag BaOmer literally means the 33rd of the Omer. Lamed and Gimel have the numerical equivalent of 33. So Log is 33. BaOmer means of the Omer. And it is a minor holiday that comes in the middle, well, near the end of the Omer, but in the middle of it, in the midst of it, and primarily is associated with bonfires. So, much to Andy Held's chagrin, we are not all gathered around a bonfire together, maybe next year. But I want to share just a little bit about this little holiday that we have here. So Lag BaOmer starts tonight, goes through tomorrow. And something we haven't really spent much time talking about is that the counting of the Omer actually has a solemn undertone to it. And there are a few explanations for why that is. One explanation is that because we are counting, we're sort of recounting that journey from slavery in Egypt to redemption, that was a really challenging experience, and so therefore, it has this solemn undertone of recounting that. Another explanation is that Rabbi Akiva, this is according to the Talmud, Rabbi Akiva, there was a plague on his students, and like thousands of his students died, and that happened at this same time of year. And then on Lag BaOmer, that's when the plague ceased, and so there was a celebration. Therefore, we celebrate. There are, a few explanations connected to it. There are more, but one of the other sort of teachings, there are no laws around Lag BaOmer. It's not mentioned in the Torah. It's barely mentioned in the Talmud. So it's mostly a custom-based holiday, and not super popular, but it has kind of had a revival recently. But with the bonfire, one explanation for the bonfire that I have heard is that another sort of connection to Lag BaOmer is that according to legend, Shimon Bar Yochai, who is attributed with writing the Zohar, which is the primary document that teaches about the alignment of Kabbalah, that he revealed the Zohar on Lag BaOmer. And there's another teaching or legend that he died on Lag BaOmer, so conflicting things or maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, so one of the teachings is that because Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the Zohar on Lag BaOmer, revealed the his teachings, that his spiritual light, as they say, he brought spiritual light into the world on Lag BaOmer, and therefore we have a bonfire to honor that the sparks of revelation, that light that he brought into the world. So that's fun, and that's a beautiful idea. And just thinking about the climate justice and how that fits into it, one of the things I was thinking about is just this idea that we have this period where this solemn period, and then we've got this day of celebrating, and what it means to make concrete space for celebration when you're in the midst of pain. And I think, connected to the issue of climate justice, I think this is really important because we know there is so much pain and suffering already in our world that is as a result of climate change. Um, and it it's a slog to continue to be engaged in this work because there's so much pain, um, and there's so many horrible things that we've done to our planet, and so you kind of have to focus on that in order to think about the solutions. And um, thinking about this Logba Omer day of having a distinct moment of celebration within that solemn period. I like that in terms of thinking about celebrating the things, accomplishments that have been made, and the things that are life affirming. So there are traditions on Lag BaOmer. One of the traditions is that you don't do get married during the Omer except for Lag BaOmer, or you don't cut your hair except for on Lag BaOmer. And so to me, those are both sort of symbolize life affirming activities, thinking towards the future. And so um, I I think that I want to suggest that during this Lag BaOmer, we focus for 24 hours um, on all the positive things. All there are for all the horrible things, stories that we can read in the news. There are also some really amazing stories of people making a difference and working really hard on solutions, dedicating their lives to this, and that's wonderful. And so, how do we celebrate and make space for that? Um, which is not discounting the work that still needs to be done. And with the bonfire, just sort of fun, just sort of as an opportunity to think about what that for you. A bonfire usually is a really intense spark of light among darkness. If you're out, assuming you're outside, don't do a bonfire outside. Um, so, what is that spark of light for you? Um, what is, what teachings have had impact on you? um, and which leaders in the climate movement have had an impact on you. So I would love to hear in the chat who you would represent as your spiritual light if you had a bonfire for in honor of climate justice. And have a bonfire. You can have a mental bonfire, whatever, your choice. But let's use the next 24 hours to really uphold and celebrate all the positive progress that has been made um, in the realm of climate justice. Have a great night, everybody. Happy